Right. We've got a few interviews. Tracy. Andy B, I think you're on breakfast. BBC team are here.
Okay. Where's
Sam?
this one?
Hi Andy, it's this
Yes,
camera.
yes, sure. Yeah. Oh, it's Andy, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, nice to see you.
No,
I'm just helping hook you up.
No worries.
Down the line the same page.
Is it right here? Is it right here? I'm just trying to work it out. It wasn't checking the cleanliness on it. I can assure you.
I can help get out.
No worries. Thanks.
Henry, put it round the other way.
Oh, sorry.
My fault, that, I think.
Alright, say goodbye, see you later.
There we go.
Oh, sorry.
Not going well, this is it. And then the on my belt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to click the mic? Let me click the mic for you.
Alright, okay.
Get a problem.
Yeah, just hold it by here. Yeah,
Thanks very much for speaking to us. Why was this meeting with mayors important? What did you discuss with the Prime Minister?
Well, I think it shows a real statement of intent from Keir Starmer as the Prime Minister Tuesday after the Thursday landslide victory meeting with the 12 Metro mayors. Angela Rayner was also present, the Deputy Prime Minister, Pat McFadden, the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster. Really important to get us in, but also to discuss with us how we should be working together going forward. Rather than the government holding back the mayors, I think what we've seen this morning is the government wanting to work with us to make sure we get growth across the country in all our areas, but also supporting the government and centre.
And are you hopeful that relations between mayors and Whitehall will improve with the change in government?
Well, we've had an hour and a half with Keir, Angela and Pat. It's been a really productive morning. I think it bodes well going forward. Lots of really good ideas from the government.
Yes,
More
I can.
importantly,
Can you hear me?
Lots of great ideas coming from the mayors as well, showing an appetite
Yes,
for the government
I
to
can.
work
Thank
with us.
you.
And we need this after the last 8 years of the government holding the Metro mayors back.
Just come out
And
here.
what kind of practical changes do you want to see to give local leaders and mayors more authority?
So we already saw that yesterday with Rachel Reeves' announcement in relation to housing targets, in relation to onshore wind. We've already seen yesterday the appetite from the centre, from the Chancellor. What we want from the Prime Minister is to work with us as allies. And we think we've got the solutions to some of the challenges the government has in relation to the problems we face. Low growth, low skills, not enough housing, how we bring in foreign investment. We can work with the government across the country. And we're also, frankly speaking, fed up of competing against each other. The previous government pitted different mayors against each other. That's not going to happen with Keir Starmer.
And from your experience, do you think devolution is something that should be expanded to more cities and regions across the country?
But what I want other parts of the country not got a mayor to know is having a mayor can be a real game changer, having an advocate and a champion. And we heard this morning the Prime Minister talking about other parts of the country where there could be mayors. That brings with it not just the additional powers, but also additional resources as well. And over the course of the next few weeks and months, we'll be working with Rachel Reeves to make sure in the budget later on this year, mayors get more powers and resources, but also from the government. And Angie Rain is quite keen on this. We want more powers involved for us as well.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Rob, Dina.
No, it's just finished, but it was a very early meeting, and it's very nice to be back, to be honest. I used to be a regular in these parts, but the Prime Minister, the new Prime Minister, really showing his intent to get growth going in all parts of England. You had mayors representing more than half of the population of England, and we've all said to the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister that we're just ready now to deliver for them. Greater Manchester is already growing faster than the UK economy, and that's because of the devolution we've got. But we've got a lot more to give, and we're ready to do that. Well, that honestly is music to my ears, because people may remember some of the interactions I had with previous governments. It was always struggling to get heard and struggling to get our perspective from the north understood in Whitehall. To have a council of the regions and nations meeting regularly just means we can be sure that the voice of Greater Manchester, of the north of England, is heard at the heart of Whitehall on an ongoing basis. And it's a big change to the way this country is run. And it's a very welcome change, a very positive change. So I think, as I look back to 97, when Labour came into government last time, this is such a step forward from there to have an infrastructure across all of the parts of England to deliver the homes, the better transport that people need. Yeah, of course. It's not about doing it to be challenging for the sake of it, but we just need to fix things. This country has felt pretty broken in recent times, particularly on the trains. You know, it's daily misery for lots of people in large parts of the country. So we're going to be putting forward to the Prime Minister plans to fix railways, put trains under local control. So in Greater Manchester we can integrate the trains with our B network and make it work as one system for people. Also the housing crisis, we've all said in different ways today that we need to build housing of all types if we're going to fix the housing crisis, council housing, social housing, truly affordable housing for people. So, you know, we've had a really good hearing today in Downing Street, and I think the country's getting a sense that there's real change now since the general election, and that will only grow, in my view, over the weeks and months ahead. Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
Very much.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Who do you think's going to win the football?
Well, they'll put us through the mill, won't they? I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're better than Holland, aren't they? I mean, they should
Yeah.
do it.
It's going to be
Hi,
difficult.
Angie.
It's going to be a tough one, but they should do it. I hope they can do it.
Hi,
It'd be
Andy.
great.
They should ask you that, shouldn't they?
Yeah, they should. I would have plenty of views. Yeah. Cheers. Thanks a lot.
Hiya.
Bill. Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
No
I'm
worries.
Mary.
Yes. Nice to see you.
Sorry, Henry.
At some point, they will shepherd Sadiq Khan over here, and then I guess I don't need to be hooked up. It's an edge, exactly. It's an edge. And then we've got the 905 live. I think so. That will seem good. Other than my abysmal efforts to clip a earpiece to it. Why don't we do that? Yeah. It's less important that my questions are on.
So we'll get traded.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll be speaking at about this level, asking questions of Sadiq
I'll
Khan.
just put that mic on it there.
Okay, great. Cool.
Here we go.
Sure, of course. Yeah, no worries. I don't need to be in shock.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it was such an extraordinary moment, and the speed at which this meeting has been put in the diary shows the change that is at the heart of government, that we as mayors already grow the economy, and being able to be brought in to talk to the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister about how we can work together on things that are very challenging in order to grow not just our own economies, but of course the economy across the whole country. And it was really good to see that it was also cross-party. We as mayors have a job to do to deliver for the people that put us there, and being able to have the tools and the freedoms and flexibilities that we discussed in that meeting, I think is going to be a game changer. It does feel very upbeat, positive, and very much like there's a new dawn.
So you're hopeful then that the relations between mayors and Whitehall will improve?
Well, there's no doubt about it that this approach from Keir and from Angela Rayner sets the tone for the next 5 years, and I am so excited to see what can be delivered, because with the churn that we've had in Whitehall and Westminster, with different prime ministers, different chancellors, handbrake turns on policies, delays on decisions, I mean, quite frankly, held back on our ambitions. We've still delivered growth, but it has been limited. I know that having this meeting meeting this morning, I think things are going to change.
What kind of practical changes do you want to see to give local relief?
Yes.
Well, we were talking in some detail about a single settlement, that we are often in a bidding war and beauty contest for small pots of money, being able to give mayors where mayoral combined authorities are mature enough, that single pot where you can team and ladle money, where you can have those freedoms and flexibilities. I know that you're definitely going to get more bang for your buck.
From your experience, do you think devolution is something that should be expanded to more cities and regions across the UK?
I think there's no doubt about it, and certainly in the north, the majority of citizens in the north have a mayor, and you can see
It
that
was
that
great to
sort
be
of,
back, wasn't it? We
that
used to spend
voice
a lot
and
of
that
time in that building.
really does bring delivery, and certainly in West Yorkshire, being able to bring buses back into public control, for example, was something that the public really chimed with. The mayor's fare, the £2 fare, people really understood the cost of living crisis, the impact that had on them and their families, and only a mayor, I think, really understands the needs of their community.
Thanks very much.
Absolute pleasure.
If he takes too long on Sky, we're just going to have to say
I think we've done you.
Yes.
What's your camera doing now?
There's the pool, but do you want to do some?
Well, it's just I'm meant to be doing an eng with Sadiq when he's done on Sky, but I'm also doing a live.
Just arriving. Tim, don't walk in here. Oh, no one's in it. Is anyone in there?
Darren Jones.
I mean, between us, we represent more than half of England. And what we've said to France is we're going to...
What's on the agenda today, Chief Secretary?
For instance, we're set up to go faster at building
there any money left?
homes for people. So we can deliver a large part of that 1.5 million target for new homes. We need to fix the railways, and we need to borrow from London in terms of what Sadiq has done here, bringing trains into our...
He usually goes. Is he going to Canada? He needs to go to number
We
10.
all stress the crucial importance of technical education skills. Later this week, Greater Manchester will launch what we call an equal alternative to the university route for our young people, the Greater Manchester Baccalaureate, and maybe that can point the way.
Well, I was going to say I'm meant to be doing an eng with Sadiq, but I'm also doing a live at 9:03. So if Sky detain them, they want me to do the live. Obviously prioritise the live, but I just wonder whether it might make sense for you guys to do an eng on this camera.
Well, we can wait for
Well, we're okay for time at the moment. Just give us, yeah.
So when are you tied up with breakfast?
9:03 to 9:04 and a half
So I could just keep in some
to hang around. Yeah. Let's see.
We've still got time, haven't we?
We have. Yes.
You hang around as well.
Yes. What? We're still the same number, even though you're very important.
I'm still on the number because
Tim.
I don't believe in important
How
people.
was it?
It was really good. It was genuine. I think everyone said on camera is true.
Yeah.
It was very productive.
Yeah.
And a lot more covered than an hour.
Have you ever been in there with?
So I've been in twice. No, not with Sunak. So I first went in with Theresa May when I was on the council and I was leading Great Exhibition of the North.
Yeah.
Which was a really long time ago. Or feels like it was really. And I went in with Boris when I was Police and Crime Commissioner. So I've been in twice for meetings, but nowhere near as productive as that. When we met Boris, we were all sat like in rows, socially distanced, facing him as he paraded around at the front, telling jokes. It was really awkward. We didn't get that today. Today we all sat around the cabinet table actually, which I think was
Yes, I
quite
saw.
symbolic.
The idea that
So Rona was there.
Angela Rayner, Pamela Gladden.
an alternative plan to create
It's all very new.
Yes.
Is that a cabinet minister there? Yes, it is.
You're still having breakfast.
No, not right now.
No, I know that, but I mean,
I am
you
in
are though.
5 minutes, which is why I'm looking to stay.
Crazy. We've been here so early that I've seen the entirety of the beginning and the end of the breakfast show. That's how long it's been.
Well, I'd pity you that, but yeah.
It's really weird to do this, but you were
Well, I think he did. I think he did an interview with somebody. But, I guess.
He was good.
Was he
It was,
all right?
yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, it's the political reality, isn't it?
It is just the same as it was for all of these mayors before.
Yeah.
And it is ultimately, I think everybody quite fundamentally believes in the regional party thing, otherwise he wouldn't stand to be a mayor. To admit, I didn't enjoy standing in there.
I mean, what you described illustrates how we live.
Let me get my suitcase.
Nice to see you. I'll send you a WhatsApp and we
Come
can
on.
arrange time to catch up. That'd be great. Nice to see you. We're not going to have time for that.
You know that Tim from BBC London is around.
Yeah.
So he can-
I've got to go live, so someone we'll arrange for someone else to do it. Yeah. Let me kiss him.
Is he ready now?
Well, actually,
Yeah, he's ready now, isn't he?
actually, if he's ready now, we can do it right now. Okay, let's go. It'll be very quick.
Give them 30 seconds.
Are you doing it live?
No, it's an end.
Crack on. Henry wants a quick clip, yeah? Quick interview with Henry.
Pictures, better opportunities.
Yeah, maybe selfie with Mari
It's
after.
really important to set out very early that mayors are very key part of this and it was very productive.
Yeah, we've got to do Henry right now.
Along those lines,
You'll get there, right?
we need to develop in our areas and to create that infrastructure of opportunity that will make everywhere.
Sadiq, Henry from BBC. I think
Hi, how are you? Very nice to see you. This is a very quick clip. We're not live, but we'll use it.
I think you know Andy.
Westminster firmly behind the
Okay.
hopefully we'll soon putting in
Errol
growth
will tell us
plans
where to stand.
which show exactly the direction of travel, which will be backed by government. Look, I think there is a fundamental understanding that we need to take more power out of Whitehall and Westminster, bring it closer to people where they live, so that those who are skin in the game get to have more say over their own future.
And what kind of practical changes do you want to see to good local leaders in this story?
Okay.
Well, everybody's got a different devolution deal. But it is simple things like single funding settlements, multi-years, so that we're able to have more control over how we
All right,
spend our
Sadiq Khan,
money to
you've
get
been in your
more
first meeting with
out
Keir
of
Starmer as
the
Prime
day.
Minister. Give us a flavour of what he said.
See more houses being
Well, first,
built,
it's quite
some of the
remarkable that,
constraints
literally,
removed in order to do
3 or
that,
4 days
things
after
like
winning
planning,
a landslide
funding
election,
of
we've got all
housing,
12 veteran
and
mayors
for
meeting
areas
with
like
him,
mine, I
the
really
Prime
want to
Minister
be bringing
this
progress back
morning.
into public
He's doing a really good
Started
meeting.
that
What
process,
Keir
but
was
at
trying to
the
get
moment that
across to all
process
of
takes
us
too long.
was he
And
wants
with the
to
backing of
be
government,
with
we'll
us,
be able to
not
do
hold
it
us back like the previous government.
that helpful?
Ideas
Thank
we've
you.
got to stimulate growth
Can I have that?
and how we can work with the government to address some of the challenges our country faces. More housing, improving the skills agenda, improving transport, how we get more foreign direct investment into the UK. And what Keir also set out was his desire for us to meet regularly, and this will be the first of many meetings.
You've spent 8 years as Mayor of London, 8 years dealing with Conservative Prime Ministers. How do you think that relationship will change now that the Prime Minister's from the same political party as you?
A variety of changes already. We've seen examples of a can-do Prime Minister literally rolling his sleeves up to ask us for ideas for how we can work closer together. Secondly, the fact that within 4 or 5 days of forming a government, he's got us in, but not just with him, just to talk, but also with the Deputy Prime Minister who's in charge of community local government, with Pat McFadden, the Cabinet Office Minister responsible for delivery of the missions, but also wants to work with us to make sure we get the growth our country needs. In the past, we've had a situation where mayors have been competing against each other with a begging bowl almost, asking for pots of money without talking about multi-year deals, making sure that we work collegiately to get the best out of government.
And you mentioned the Deputy Prime Minister there. She's abolished the term levelling up this morning. I don't know if you've seen. I think some people in the past thought that pitted London against the North, the Midlands. Is that your view? Are you happy to see that term gone?
Absolutely. Look, one of the things we've got to get across is the way to make a country more equal shouldn't be by making London poorer. It's not a zero-sum game. The Metro mayors will very soon be jumping on an electric bus going to another meeting. That electric bus is used in London, but it was built in Scarborough. Good example of how we've looked with the expertise parts of the country have. We need their expertise to make buses that we need in London. The previous government pitted mayor against mayor, community against community, region against region. With Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner.
Thank you very much. Cheers, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Sorry it was so brief. Cheers. Cheers. Thanks, James.
Yeah,
Right,
sure.
Errol, I don't think we have very long.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bang.
There we go. Smooth.
Sorry?
I was just pleased to hear the programme. It's all smooth. They're talking about Ukraine. That means we've got time.
Well, it's all going, isn't it? If you want to take such a left also.
Hello, hi. Am I in the right place? Yes, I have.
Half the steps you're up there. Sorry. Last steps.
Good morning, Keir. It was fantastic, and it does show the new approach of this Prime Minister. Only days, I'm sure nobody's having seen, only days after becoming Prime Minister, holding a meeting with the mayors from across the party. And it does feel like a new dawn. It's very upbeat, lots of positive energy, solution focused as well. Mayors are there to already grow the economy. It's what we're good at. But if you're going to grow the economy across the country, you need to empower mayors, and that's what we spoke about housing, and unfortunately that's really those segments that's going to make a difference. There might not be loads more money, but
It's like a party. For now.
yeah, well, we will have
It's like a freshers meeting, isn't it? What's your name?
we already have our work plans. And of course, we are looking at fiscal events
Really
carefully. It was great to see Patrick Fallon and Lorraine in that meeting. This is a team sport now, and I think we were able to all work together on that absolute laser focus on growth. And that's why we were talking about housing and skills, about transport, particularly public economy, public transport. So it was quite wide-ranging, quite level, very strategic, but the start of a fantastic relationship.
It wasn't 9:03 anyway. I could have asked 2 more questions.
It's always the case. I'm excited to hear these jobs done.
Well, that's exactly the point, Dave. And Richard Reeves has been very clear that the taps are not turned on. But the issue for mayors is that historically we have had to dig into like a beauty contest for small pots of funding. The contest is usually quite frankly to get those big ones there, and then you may or may not be successful. What an absolute waste of money. If you give us that single settlement where we can team and label funds, where we can deliver better outcomes, where we know our communities can get more bang for your buck without that waste, and working really close to the there, you can get growth. And I know that Rachel will be across this really closely, how she can lift off some of the restrictions to enable the smart houses, to enable us to get more young people into those
You want to be in it? No, I've got
get more money into the They now get their chance of making
Could have done a long form interview with Steve.
I know.
Thank you. Cheers. Yes.
Just look at the camera first, yeah.
Yes. Yes, please. And then I'll talk into the SOT and then I'll broaden it out to NATO.
Seconds in.
Well, it was very striking that Sir Keir Starmer had all of England's directly elected metro mayors into Downing Street so soon after he became Prime Minister. He told them that that was a statement of intent. Lots of them, I have to say, visibly jubilant to be here because all but one of those metro mayors are from the Labour Party. So it's the first time that any of them have dealt with a Labour Prime Minister while they're in their jobs. Now, previously, under Conservative governments, having these mayors here talk to the Prime Minister would be known as levelling up. But that term has been abolished this morning by the Labour government. Let's have a listen to Jim McMahon. He's a new government minister. So Keir Starmer chaired around the cabinet table that meeting of mayors this morning. In 20 minutes or so he'll be chairing a cabinet meeting at the cabinet table. That's just the second cabinet meeting that this new Labour government has had. And then in the afternoon he'll be in the House of Commons for the first time as Prime Minister, standing at the dispatch box with the much diminished Conservative ranks opposite him. Rishi Sunak as leader of the opposition with his interim shadow cabinet. That's going to be a really visible moment where we see Britain's new political map arranged in front of us in the House of Commons. And then after that, Keir Starmer will fly to Washington for his first international summit as Prime Minister. He'll meet Joe Biden, he'll meet Italy's Giorgia Meloni, lots of leaders that he hasn't met before. So the local, the national the parliamentary, the international. Today is a day which shows Sir Keir Starmer how varied the demands of being Prime Minister are. Cheers, thank you.
Can I get you out of the way just briefly, because they're going to just about appear.
Hi.
The channel coming to
2.5 minutes, okay. 2.5 minutes to channel.
So, do you want to get down? Just.
What's on the agenda today?
How many prisoners are you going to release, Justice Secretary?
Yes, I'm saying. Oh, right, so there's nothing else to do. I don't think so. Yeah, double check, then we go.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It's BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're been at the Mayor's meeting this morning
Yeah.
in Tees Valley, and we were meant to be doing the interviews over at Millbank.
Right.
Our locals have moved here, so we just wanted to double check, is it still the same plan? Or
You've not been told that I'm doing these two lines, that's you. Only bank robbers.
No, unless he's doing it, but we can find out.
Yeah, we've done the interview with Richard over this national one as well. If not, we'll go over to Millbank now.
We're expected to be at Millbank, but we don't know whether they've changed it down the line to the jobs off. But we'll just go there.
Alright, okay.
Do you mind just double checking? Do you want me to take this picture of you before we go? While she's double checking. Okay, apologies. Come on.
Hi. But, okay. No worries. Yes. Right. Okay. Yeah. He's going to NATO tonight. That's fine. That's very straightforward. Yeah. Sure.
Right, if you stay exactly where you are, Harry, that's perfect. Yeah.
Imogen. You shout. Imogen.
What's on the agenda today?
Is the King's speech ready yet?
They don't know. We just go.
Yeah, we'll just head over to Millbank now.
No, it's absolutely fine. It's not your problem.
It's for the regions, isn't it?
No, we've done the regions. There was a national.
We'll come down.
No, it's BBC National. It's fine. We'll go to
TV or radio?
TV. It's fine. We'll go. If they said we need to go to Mill. No, it's not your fault. I just
thought we'd all check the
Move on
station
then.
change.
Yeah,
Cheers,
no,
thanks a lot
yeah.
anyway.
Who's local government correspondent? Vanessa. Is it Politics Night?
Look, I don't think it's going to blow Keir Starmer's agenda off course at this stage. He knew that there was a war taking place on the European continent before he became Prime Minister, and that's obviously still the case this morning, even with this latest episode. But it is clearly going to be something that the new Cabinet will want to discuss. That's the new Attorney General, by the way, Richard Hermer KC, soon to be Lord Hermer, arriving behind me, and it's maybe the kind of issue which will impinge upon his in tray So I'm sure that it is going to be a focus of the Cabinet generally, if not necessarily the meeting that they're having today. But also, Keir Starmer met local mayors in England this morning. That's a very particular focus. But this evening he's flying to Washington for the NATO summit, for his first summit as a world leader, which he now is, and he'll meet Joe Biden there. And I'm sure top of their agenda will be talking about ways to cooperate on the war in Ukraine. Well, and Joe Biden's in a precarious position as well. I mean, Keir Starmer will arrive at the White House to meet Joe Biden, and it is the first time they've ever met. But, you know, you could forgive him for wondering at the back of his head whether before long he will be meeting, you know, either Donald Trump or indeed Kamala Harris at the White House. Who knows? But yes, I mean, it's the first opportunity for Keir Starmer not just to meet a lot of these world leaders, but also to give a flavour both to an audience here in the UK, but also globally, about the kind of role that he wants the UK to play on the world stage at a time when, as you say, so many of the major forces in global politics are buffeted by internal and international crises. It is, and they are reverting that department to the name that it had 2 years ago, before it became the Department for Levelling Up, 3 years ago actually, before it became the Department for Levelling Up, initially under Michael Gove. Yeah, I think the clear message is of discontinuity, of a rupture with what went before. But what the Conservatives said they wanted to do with Levelling Up, which was rebalance the economy, improve the prospects of people around the UK, that's Liz Kendall, the new Work and Pensions Secretary, about to walk into number 10, by the way. What the Conservatives said they wanted to do with Levelling Up, I think very much is still on Labour's agenda. But the way in which they talk about it is clearly going to be quite different. I'm not sure which is my best angle.
What's Liz Kendall's job?
That's right. I mean, one chamber that will look the same, by the way, is the House of Lords, and that's the new leader of the House of Lords, Baroness Smith of Basildon, arriving behind me. But yes, in the House of Commons, it's going to look extremely different. Keir Starmer will stand at the government dispatch box for the first time today as Prime Minister. The Conservatives will be sitting on the opposition benches. They haven't sat there for 14 years. In almost all cases, no Conservative MP who's currently a Conservative MP has sat there before, because so many of them have come in their years in government, among them Rishi Sunak. Today we will get a physical representation of the extent to which Britain's political map has transformed. And I think that's going to be very striking for lots of people. You'll see not just a much dwindled Conservative parliamentary party, but you'll also see, and by the way, that's David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, arriving. Obviously he's going to have a big role in dealing with the Ukraine situation that we're just discussing.
What's your message for Vladimir Putin, Foreign Secretary?
In the immediate term, his priority was greeting Annalisa Dodds, who's going to be his number 2 at the Foreign Office. She's going to be focusing on development, but I'm sure he will be at the NATO summit with Keir Starmer later today, David Lammy, and will be very much leading the UK's response to what's happening in Ukraine.
Who's that coming up there?
didn't know I was doing that.
Who's that? Henry?
Thank you.
Henry?
Henry?
Who's that?
Joe Stevens, Welsh Secretary.
Henry. That's it.
Hi. Yes.
No, the world wants us now.
Okay.
Can you just
World
duck
wants
down
us.
Just
Step back, Henry. If you just go backwards that way. That's it. Is that better?
That's fine. Can we get Walter to wait for like until the arrival?
They didn't ask.
Are you going to solve the doctor's strike?
Can you just turn around for a second?
Yes. Cheers. Thanks.
Just duck down.
Coming to you now, Henry.
Ed. Ed.